Hello everyone. Welcome to our new channel. This is an astrological beyond. Here we will explore esoteric knowledge such as astrology, human design, tarot, and numerology, and all systems that aim for a person to know themselves. To know yourself means to realize your potential and understand your place in the world. This is a podcast that I will aim to look at things in a different way, and most importantly, in a practical way. Actually, to ground the spiritual in everyday life and daily living, because otherwise it won't be useful for a person.
We are here with Kiril Goranov. Hello. Today I suggest we talk a bit more about astrology, how it can be used in different aspects of life, because astrology is far from what most people think it is. And that is, most people think astrology is just a little box in the newspaper or on a TV program. This zodiac sign has these stars, but in fact astrology is much deeper.
In terms of meaning, it can literally be used for many things. Absolutely. In these videos, we will reveal to people how they can use astrology in their daily lives and in education. So first of all, let's start talking about what the benefits of astrology can be.
First of all, what comes to my mind is self-knowledge. This is, by the way, a topic that many people explore, and psychology also has a deep connection with it. In the past, even Carl Gustav Jung was involved with astrology, as well as many other psychologists. However, this is just one of the ways it can be used. Another example is medical astrology. Again, I must say there are many different branches in astrology. So it can be viewed not only in the predictive part, for which astrology is most known, but also in the predictive part. This is the so-called Peru method, by which they are observed. Periods of what is to come, when it will happen, and how it will manifest in a sick person. Also, human design as a more modern method that includes astrology can be much more useful for self-knowledge. Yoan perfectly explained roughly how human design can also aid in self-awareness. In other words, we can say that astrology is akin to psychosomatics. It has long been known in the essence of psychology that the cause of diseases is actually the psyche, and in fact, the disease originates first in the mental realm.
An emotional block is actually constructed through human design. We cannot decipher a person's psyche. And what are the prerequisites? And where is the basis for him to create within himself the fight against the seat of health conditions? In other words, this is one way we can work with these systems. That is, we can examine health. And what are the main psychosomatic tendencies in a person? Everyone is born with some tendencies for vulnerabilities. There are people who are vulnerable to reacting, with headaches, migraines, and others are vulnerable in the lumbar area, and so on. In other words, we see. Actually, when we look at a chart, we see the tendency, and a person has it predisposed, right? Everyone has some predispositions for that.
I am talking about two, and honestly, when it comes to the medical part of astrology, many people, by the way, don't even suspect what it is and what information it can provide. In fact, in medical astrology, it can reveal what type of diseases a person is prone to and what their weak spots are. And interestingly, after more than 15 years of practicing medical astrology, I can say that it definitely works as a principle. Also, from a psychological perspective, it definitely involves skills. How should I put it? A very, very deep connection with innate fears. Everything that is deeply embedded in a person can be seen in a correctly interpreted natal chart. That's it. Simply put, it is a snapshot of the sky at the moment a person is born. That's what a natal chart is called.
In fact, We cannot say that in one natal chart or astrological chart we see all the zodiac signs in a person, meaning we cannot tell people that they are only their zodiac sign. That is, it's not enough to just say you are a Taurus or a Leo. Actually, everyone has Taurus within them, everyone has Leo within them, and everyone has Aries and so on. This is something that Jung himself talked about when he described the zodiac signs as archetypes. Archetypes are something primal in every person. These zodiac signs are 12. These 12 archetypes are in every person, meaning everyone has Leo within them. The difference is that what we see in the charts is where a person actually expresses this Leo. For example, someone might express this trait in their daily life, which would be captured in the 6th house. A person with Aries will express it in the 3rd season in their mind. In their communication, they will be much more aggressive in the way they communicate, much more competitive. Whereas a person with Aries in the 6th house will not be mentally competitive. They will simply have an active daily life. Because apart from being active, meaning everyone actually has Leo in their chart, but this Aries will fall into a different sphere. There are 12 spheres, meaning what I want to demonstrate is that everything is within us, right? All the archetypes are within us, but they manifest in different ways.
And the understanding, in principle, that everything is predetermined is also very interesting, because I often encounter questions about whether a person has free will. It's strange, and the will is expressed again in how one will learn the given lessons. Rialove. Astrological plan. Every person has given lessons, and these lessons are beautifully visible in a natal chart. Natal translates to birth. Every person has given lessons, and the interesting thing is that we have periods when these lessons are activated, and then it is most. The best period for this lesson to be learned, thanks to various external factors, can be people, changes in the work environment, or even changes in health conditions. In fact, in astrology, various directions can be used. How should I say? Various directions. Now, with human design, it works with 2 natal charts. There is also a natal and a prenatal one, and Yoan will roughly explain to us what is the difference between the 2 charts and in what way actually.
This corresponds with astrology as a method of work, meaning the design itself has one very fundamental aspect. Perhaps you know, a strong word. It has a very strong structure. It says, there is no good or bad design, no good or bad natal chart.
There is no good or bad, no good or bad. All zodiac signs are both good and...
Because in this way, there is a tendency in state magazines, newspapers, and so on. That is, when horoscopes and analyses are made, to look at us, since this is now a good decision, this is now a bad decision, what will happen, and so on, right? In fact, what design and witticisms teach is that everything is a matter of manifestation, meaning you can have a predisposition, let's say, as we talked about being caught in the 6th house. This can manifest in many ways. It can manifest as aggression, right? But it can also appear simply as a signature, as an active daily life. It can manifest as sports in their daily benefit, to have a high expression of one sign. And when a person actually works on themselves, it doesn't matter what the chart is, the chart itself is perfect just as it is, whether every person comes with a unique mission that they are here to fulfill, and actually the positions they have chosen to be born with are exactly the positions they need to fulfill this mission. In other words, each chart is unique in itself, and this is one of the things that the design itself stands on. There is no better or worse chart by design, questions, manifestation in astrology.
To conjugate them, right? How bad or smart they are like wolves or anyone else, there is no bad zodiac sign. Each zodiac sign has low and high manifestations. The question is how aware a person is and how they use these archetypes, because, as I say again, every person carries a certain charge within themselves. How will they use it? that is up to their discretion. Whether in astrology, we simply say some of these charges, it naturally and effortlessly comes to us to use them. For instance, as an illustration, when a person has their sun in the zodiac sign of Leo, this is actually the Leo zodiac sign. When you ask someone, what is your zodiac sign? You are essentially asking where their sun is, right? Because in Western astrology, the sun plays the role of the main factor, which is different from Vedic examples. But the idea is that for such a person with the sun, it will be much more natural for them to express themselves in a certain way.
There won't be any personal expression, but you have concerns, and here people would punish me. The sheep are egocentric, the lions are selfish, so the oxen are commanding and so on, right? In other words, what people describe is governance. Isn't that the lower manifestation of your essence? A new era is actually the sign of leadership. The lions are the leaders who are charismatic leaders, who can lead through their charisma and provide us with a more secure and better future. So, whether a sign has both high and low expression, high and low manifestation, we can't say, "Walk, this is a good, more sign." It depends on the manifestation. Every sign can be both negative, in high and low manifestation, and can be unique in its high manifestation. We have another tendency. We have the tendency to call, most often, the bad qualities that are associated with selfishness, the houses that are associated with tyranny, with anger, and so on. But no one talks about the negative qualities like being passive, sacrificing oneself, being lazy, and letting things drift away, right? These are also low manifestations. Actually, people tend to focus the negative only on things related to selfishness, let's say. But in the same way, the low manifestation of, let's say, the archetype without it, is related to you not having a self, and always listening to what others say, and constantly conforming to others and their opinions, so as not to express your identity. This is also a low manifestation.
In reality, it's one of the main reasons why we decided to make this podcast. It is right to understand a lot of the myths that are circulating, because we believe that too much information in the article, nowadays too much information leads to misinformation, and this is indeed quite a serious problem. In reality, you've been involved with astrology for many years, and I, Yoan, what astrology really does, it helps people make important decisions. Not because the stars have written it for you that way, but rather what is the right path, in terms of which has the least resistance that a certain type can cause, emotional and even physical damage. And actually, if we can combine it and package it in the best way, astrology is quite a useful tool for self-improvement, as well as for making better decisions.
So yes, it is a tool for how to
understand yourself, but also to understand others. I've always absolutely maintained the following. Astrology is a language through which people can understand themselves on a better spiritual level, and also understand the people around them, and not judge them for a certain type of behavior, but rather understand where it comes from. Then it allows you to see the whole puzzle, meaning everyone has their place in the entire puzzle.
And a person only needs to remove the judgment of the visual. And you understand that this person is actually designed in this way to fulfill their mission in a certain way.
Well, astrology and human design are, how should I say, tools for
self-realization. Yes, self-realization and understanding of
universal principles And I think it's not right for people to go to some extreme lengths to explain how something is not very bad or very good. Again, I say these are forms of manifestation. We have been teaching over the years, we have quite a significant number of students, and we have consistently noticed that this approach really helps them to succeed.
They can see the world differently and view their life and situation in a different way. Even the challenges and problems that every person encounters in their life, that is, astrology. Human design offers a different perspective to see the situations in your life. It helps you see the meaning that each situation holds, the meaning it creates for every conflict a person has or the challenges they face, and what you can learn from them and how to act best in the situation. In other words, it can be a psychological, political, and interpersonal tool. How to communicate better with people and in life. What is the attitude? But if you know how to communicate better with people, you instantly improve the life of every single person. Will it absolutely affect relationships?
You are looking at work in a career plan.
Everything is a relationship of hope. And when you understand the other person, when you understand yourself, you will instantly have closer relationships and more success in life. This is essentially a practical language, the most important thing. And in the next videos, we will strive to explain as practically as possible how these two systems can be used.
In principle, the idea is to have various guests, some who are involved in astrology and some who are not, to lead the discussions. So if you have a topic that interests you and you want it to be addressed, write it in the comments. We will gladly consider it, and we will make it a guide. Starting today, we are launching this bit, so I suppose we will be able to upload regularly, but let's be realistic. It requires quite a bit of work, but we strive to provide quality content. The idea is to speak in an understandable language, and we will explain every terminology absolutely, how it is used, why it is used. And I think that one of the best things is to truly appreciate knowledge when it is indeed correct, because I've noticed that in recent years, many people have emerged who speak like parrots. I've mentioned this before. The same things are repeated, and in reality, they are not being understood. In fact, there is quite a deep. This also applies to human design. So that's it from us for today. Expect the next video soon. Goodbye from us until we meet again.